Hello, it's Sarah from Don't Lie to Me. If you haven't heard of Flock Safety, you need to. They make automated license plate readers. Small cameras mounted on poles, attached to streetlights, stuck on buildings. They scan every single license plate that drives past. Every make, every model, every color. Bumper stickers. Dents. They log it all. And they don't just store it locally. Every camera is connected to a nationwide network. A police officer in Florida can search a database of 100,000 cameras across all 50 states. They have 120,000 cameras deployed in 6,000 communities. They scan tens of billions of license plates every month. The company is worth over $8 billion, $300 million in annual revenue, growing 70% year over year. And they installed most of these cameras without ever asking you. Well, people have had enough. In Central Florida, a wave of flock cameras have been vandalized across Volusia and Lake counties. Someone didn't just damage a camera. They used a power saw to cut down the entire pole. In Volusia County, 4 cameras were tampered with. The ACLU is crying foul. Residents are saying what the rest of the country is starting to say. We didn't consent to this. But Florida isn't alone, not even close. In Verona, Minnesota, someone stole every single flock camera in the city. All 8 of them. Gone. Poles cut with a saw. Coordinated theft over 4 days. $24,000 in equipment. And 0 suspects. The police department posted on Facebook that they were, quote, missing. They said all 8 of our city's flock cameras were missing. Like they just wandered off. Minnesota has been hit hard. Faribault, Duluth, Plymouth, Edina. 6 cameras damaged in Edina alone. A Faribault man has been charged with stealing one right off a 10-foot pole. In Monterey County, California, a man used his pickup truck to topple a camera. Just backed up and knocked it down. 3 cameras destroyed. He's in jail now. And in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, a man was arrested for vandalizing cameras across 3 beach communities: Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach. Here's the ironic part. The police used other flock cameras to track him down. The surveillance cameras caught the guy who was destroying the surveillance cameras. You literally cannot make this up. But not everyone is using destruction. Some people are getting creative. Meet Carl Gunn. He's 77 years old. He lives in St. Petersburg, Florida. And when he spotted a flock camera near his neighborhood, he didn't destroy it. He grabbed his pool skimmer. The only 12-foot pole he had was his pool skimmer, so he taped a sign to it that read, "Down with flock cameras." He grabbed a camping chair, and he sat himself right in front of the lens. All the camera saw was Carl's sign. They don't own the air, he said. Carl is a Republican. A 77-year-old Republican man in Florida protesting surveillance cameras. Because this isn't a left or right issue. It's a freedom issue. He told the local paper, "I have a constitutional right to my privacy. I'm a law-abiding citizen and I don't need anyone sticking their nose in my business. And if they do, I'm going to chop it off." Passing drivers honked in support. A stranger brought him a cold soda and an umbrella. Police came. They questioned him for 15 minutes. And they left, because Carl broke no law. He just stood there with a pool skimmer. The flock company, they're doing this for profit, Carl said. We didn't give them permission to do it on us. If they want to do it for profit, I want my paycheck. Now, the vandalism wave is real. CNN is calling it a movement. The Guardian calls it an underground network of privacy activists. TikTok has sparked a wave of attacks showing people how to disable the cameras. And there's something else. In Florida, after a flock camera near a woman's house was vandalized, An unmarked, heavily tinted vehicle showed up on her street, just parked there, no markings, no explanation. Your tax dollars paid for the camera, your neighborhood didn't vote on it, and when someone breaks it, they send an unmarked vehicle to your street. That's not public safety, that's intimidation. But here's the bigger picture, because it's not just individuals. Entire cities are pulling out. 80 flock contracts have been terminated across 28 states since 2021. 39 of those cancellations came in the first 5 months of 2026 alone. Half of 5 years of cancellations happened in 5 months. The backlash isn't starting. It's accelerating. The LAPD. The actual Los Angeles Police Department is letting its deal expire over privacy fears. When the LAPD thinks your surveillance is too much, maybe reconsider your business model. Flagstaff, Arizona voted to shut down their entire 32-camera network. South Tucson scrapped their contract. Sedona scrapped theirs. Chandler delayed a $153,000 renewal vote. In Pinal County, Arizona, the sheriff himself ended the contract. Sheriff Ross Teeple, a man who once defended the cameras at a town hall. He said, "I have serious Fourth Amendment concerns." ICE swore an oath to the Constitution to protect your individual liberties. When the sheriff who installed the cameras says they're unconstitutional, that should tell you everything. And then there's Troy, New York. We covered this in a previous video. The city council voted unanimously to stop the flock contract. The mayor declared a public safety emergency to override them. Citizens responded by physically destroying 3 cameras overnight. The mayor called it a violent act. The mayor called citizens cutting down surveillance cameras an act of violence. Not the surveillance, not the tracking, the cutting. And here's something that should enrage you. In Verona, Wisconsin, when the city voted to cancel their flock contract, Flock refused to remove the cameras. They just left them there. Residents had to cover them with black trash bags because they couldn't confirm whether the cameras were still watching. You cancel the contract, they leave the cameras. You pay to replace them if they're destroyed. The cameras are their property, but you're responsible for them. Private profits, public risk. Now Flock claims their cameras help solve crimes. They'll point to Amber Alerts and stolen vehicles. But let me tell you what else they do. In Roseville, California, Flock sent 1,427 alerts flagging cars as stolen or connected to a felony. 71% of those alerts were wrong. 71%, they misread the plate. In Toledo, Ohio, Flock confused a 7 for a 2 on a license plate. Brandon Upchurch was stopped by police with a K9 unit. The dog mauled him. Over a misread license plate, he settled for $35,000. And it's not just errors. The company has been caught lying. Flock repeatedly denied that ICE and Border Patrol had access to their data. Turns out they did. Through police back channels, a blogger titled his post, "Does Flock share data with ICE?" No. While ICE was getting the data the entire time. In Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a Flock representative lied about heat maps during a city council meeting. Got caught the very next morning. The city cancelled their contract within 24 hours. There's a whole website called dflock.org that logs every Flock camera location in the country. There's an app called Flockhopper that routes your drive around the cameras. And there's haveyoubeenflocked.com where you can check if your data has been captured. This isn't fringe. The ACLU has a campaign called Get the Flock Out. The Institute for Justice is documenting dozens of cases of innocent people detained at gunpoint because of Flock errors. Republican sheriffs are pulling contracts. Progressive lawmakers are drafting bans. When the ACLU and Republican sheriffs agree on something, you know the consensus is real. This is horseshoe theory in action. The left and right are meeting on the issue of surveillance. Because here's the thing, These cameras aren't going away on their own. Flock is a billion-dollar company with 120,000 cameras and a searchable database of everywhere you've ever driven. They have investors to please and revenue targets to hit. But the people pushing back aren't going away either. The Guardian documented an entire underground network dedicated to disabling them. TikTok is teaching millions of people how to find them. And 80 Sioux cities have already shown that when enough people speak up, the cameras come down. Carl Gunn is 77 years old. He sat in a camping chair with a pool skimmer and a sign. And the $8 billion company's camera saw nothing. They don't own the air. So, I'll ask you this. Are there flock cameras in your town? Do you know? Have you checked? Because 120,000 of them are out there, and most people have no idea. Check dflock.org, search your address, and then ask your city council why a private company is tracking every car in your neighborhood without your consent. Because if a 77-year-old man with a pool skimmer can stop a camera, what can your whole town do? If you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Like this video and tell me in the comments, do you have flock cameras where you live? All sources are in the description. Verify everything. Don't take my word for it, take theirs. I'm Sarah, and they're lying to you. Take care of each other.